Next question is from Jacob Polanco. How about stretching or mobility tips for the muscle around the shin bone?
Ooh, stretching and
new
mobility
area of the body. We
tips
haven't
around
touched.
the shin bone. You want your dorsiflexion and your plantar flexion in your foot to be inversion, eversion at the ankle. You basically want your whole ankle to move really fluid, like the hip cars that I make you do, where you just like kind of gliding your hip out. So that's from like a movement standpoint. Just like challenge your ankles to move around, exercising with no shoes on. You want flat shoes, but you really want the benefit, exercise with no shoes on. Your feet need to interact with the ground. And that interaction, you're using a lot of the calf muscles a lot more than you think. Whereas when you put a shoe on, every toe is interacting with the ground much differently when you have that shoe on. When you have that shoe on, you have it's like putting mittens on.
Okay.
And you can't spread your toes out.
Shoes off for doing legs. What about for jumping?
When you jump, you should be able to jump barefoot, meaning you should be able to land barefoot. That shows me that you're doing it the right way. If you could do it with shoes on and you can't do it with shoes off, it shows me that you're actually not jumping and landing the correct way. It's kind of the whole theory about bare knuckle fighting versus fighting with gloves on. That because you're wearing the equipment to protect you, you throw more wild. You throw with less awareness of what you're doing.
Makes sense.
When you don't have anything on and there's a consequence of doing something too aggressive, it makes you pay attention to the technique of what you're doing more. I just told my athlete the other day, you come in here, shoes off. He's coddled by the shoes that he's wearing. And I take a lot of like pride at that. The way that I'm constantly, jumping around, jumping rope with no shoes on, bending my ankles in very, very wacky ways. Because I always want to say, like, I try to make it a point to be able to play basketball in these flat shoes. Because it just, my knees will feel a little bit, but it shows me that, like, I'm not coddling my ankles. I don't need padded stuff to jump up and down.